We do not appreciate wrestling enough, my friends. We're going to get into it today. The main event of Raw was Penta versus Seth Rollins. And if somebody had told you back in 2020, you probably would have thrown up everywhere. But I just thought it was tremendous. I just thought it was fantastic. And sometimes I do just like to take a step back and be like, how the flub are we getting Penta versus Seth Rollins? Penta, of course, for a long time. Well, he's been here, there, and everywhere. But he's in AEW for 4 years? 5 years, maybe? Seth Rollins, who has been Mr. WWE for like a generation now. And it was absolutely awesome. And basically bookended what this Raw was all about getting Seth Rollins' nameless team, still don't have a name, there is no group name, over. Because Bron Breakker killed Sami Zayn, he's going to be out indefinitely. Jey Uso got tsunami'd by Bronson Reed, so I presume he's going to be out. And now Seth Rollins is done with Penta. Yes, we had the thing at the end with LA Knight, but given that LA Knight hit the BFT onto Mr. Seth Rollins, I'd imagine come Saturday night's main event, Seth Rollins is going to win. The big question there is, what do you do with LA Knight after that? And at the moment, I don't have the answer, but that's probably why I got fired from the creative team in 2012. It's not true. Anytime I make that joke, I get so many comments going, you worked for the WWE creative team? I think you know. And I think by now we've been on plenty of podcasts talking about it. It never happened. But I liked it. We have now re-established, I suppose, that Seth Rollins and his guys are the threat to Raw and the whole WWE, I guess. But we allowed Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed to speak as well. And it was kind of nuts what they said. Bron Breakker was all like, man, Sami Zayn, I hate your hair and I hate your beard and I hate that little pinky you've got and I hate your wife and I hate your child. It's like, you got to calm down, bro. But they did do the job, admittedly, after Karrion Kross had attacked Sami Zayn with a pipe. And of course, Bronson Reed threw a chair at Jey Uso. Tsunami. And I would guess now at SummerSlam, because it hasn't gone up yet. I had a glitch with it. It'll probably go up a bit late now, but who cares? I couldn't really figure out what we were going to do with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso at SummerSlam. Either do the tag match against these two guys, or you can do individual matches. It doesn't matter. It depends what you're trying to get across here. And actually, maybe Sami Zayn and Jey Uso could remain a tag team, because Raw is in desperate need of tag teams. But I like what we did with Seth Rollins' group. I thought it was good. I thought it was important. Seth Rollins taking the back seat here and allowing his boys to shine, I thought was very interesting. Paul Heyman did make an Empire Strikes Back, or Empire Strikes Now is what he changed it to, joke, if we can call it that. Could we call them the Empire? I mean, it's the worst name ever for wrestling, but no, it's not. The worst name ever was Creative Control, which is a WCW group. I believe it's headed up by Jeff Jarrett. I try and wipe that from my brain. Creative Control. Honestly, that Vince Russo, he's got a lot to answer for, as it sounds like, apparently, allegedly, who knows, he continues to make up rumors every single day. I didn't say that. And let's just move forward. But it was just that Penta versus Seth match. And I love the finish too. In fact, all three matches, there was still distraction and interference and confusion, as we always talk about. And check out What Culture Wrestling and my ups and downs review to get my step-by-step review of Raw, and subscribe to me and subscribe to them and to all of that jazz. But in the Bron Breakker match, of course, Sami Zayn had been injured by a pipe. Adam Pearce decided not to use his authority and just let Sami Zayn compete, so he should be taken in front of a commission, whatever it may be called. But Bron Breakker then wrecked him with spears, and of course it came from the distraction, or whatever you want to call it, by Karrion Kross, but it wasn't directly there. So this felt more creative, especially because before this, Sami Zayn had gone, oh, that Karrion Kross, I do not care about he. Then with the Bronson Reed match, it was just a straight up DQ, but he told us beforehand, hey, good day, mate, I don't care about winning or losing, I just want to hurt the dude. So it makes sense. You can use that for story purposes. Then in the main event, this is my favorite stuff. Penta was about to win with the second Penta driver, and Seth Rollins takes his head, whoop, smacks him in the testicles, and then acts like he didn't do it on purpose. The referee can't really call it because he looked accidental, right? It was like the Usyk Daniel DeBarth fight, somewhat timely, somewhat not. He then kind of smiles at Paul Heyman to let you know, and Michael Cole said it as well, that probably was intentional. Stomp 1, 2, 3. You can't do that all the time, but it's such good creative finishes. It's like the pat on the head that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair did on SmackDown. It's small things like that that you can only get away with in pro wrestling. And I suppose as a nerd fan, which is what we all are, it just makes you sit down and go, okay, awesome. They thought about this backstage. It wasn't just somebody can run out and somebody can do this. Even the Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane match, Raquel Rodriguez saved Roxanne, which was a bit much because the ref was like, well, I guess you just dragged her out the ring. What can I possibly do? But Kairi Sane still won with the most devastating move in sports entertainment. And again, when you don't allow the heels for their plan to work, which is the stupidest sentence I've ever said because it didn't join properly, that's fine as well. So again, this Raw just felt way more, creative is probably not the right word, it was just paced better. And as for the Judgment Day, how the flub do they do this? It's the third time I've said this on a video today, but they were weird with Edge, then they became great, then they kind of fell off, and there was a transition period, then they were great again, then recently they didn't fall off, and it felt like they were going to go their separate ways, and now they're hilarious. Roxanne Perez had made a death shrine, I can't get over it, to Liv Morgan, and Raquel was like, what are you doing? which was the perfect reaction. And then AJ Styles has sent a cake to Dominic Mysterio saying, get better soon. Dominic thinks it's Finn Balor and JD McDonough. It's not. And then AJ Styles is hiding behind, it was like one of those dresser things, like a wall, and does the pointing with the eyes. It made me laugh out loud. So that is tremendous. And Dominic Mysterio apparently is legitimately injured. So once again, I'm going back to it. What a great way to go back to your creative side of everything. Or let's just try and have some fun with this. It brought me joy, man, as did... Later on, the War Raiders and the New Day were arguing, like, oh, we want a tag team title match. My gosh, we need more teams. I mean, I love both of them. We just need more. And Becky Lynch just strolls by and's like, yeah, stupid Big E. And Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston are so happy. So all of this was really, really good. Really fun Raw. I'll get into the Becky Lynch stuff in just a second because my favorite thing was, I know you're going to disagree with half of this, but that's fine. That's what the internet is all about. Penta versus Seth Rollins. I think we need to take a step back and love the fact that we've got it. It's the same if Seth Rollins went to AEW, right? This isn't a WWE or W thing. If I ever get Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins in either ring, I'm going to have a meltdown. I want that match so much because I think they would feel obliged to do as much as they possibly could do because that's the type of people they are. But we got the final Goldberg-Gunther interaction, and I just had a moment where I was like, isn't it awesome that we can get this? You don't have to like Goldberg. You can think he sucks. He's not for you. Totally fine. But only in wrestling, to use that term again, can you get a 58-year-old man that is going against the world champion? There's plot holes in the story. I'm not trying to get away with that. But it's just the coolest thing in the world. And Goldberg was a massive star back in the day. Again, you can't deny that. He allowed WCW to keep the lights on for 2 more years at least, if not a little bit longer, depending on when you believe his rise was or his connection with the fans. Obviously, his first one with WWE sucked on both sides. That was not a good relationship. 2016 onwards was awesome. The match with Brock at Mania 33, was it? It was almost 10 years ago. Can't handle that. The 5-minute one, probably the best 5-minute match ever, or arguably so. And now we're doing this to say goodbye to Goldberg. So it's a couple of things for me. Everyone should be allowed to say goodbye in the way that they want, especially people that have given a lot to the business, which he has. And I just look at it from Gunther's point of view. He's got to be over the moon about this. Imagine as a kid watching television going, that's the guy you're going to retire one day, to a weird genie man that's sitting on your shoulder. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Aladdin? Just absolute nonsense. And people like to go, oh my gosh, he was out of breath, because obviously he tells Gunther to punch him, and then he goes to punch him, and then Goldberg punches him, go for the spear, Gunther runs away. For some reason, Goldberg just turned up in a car at perfectly the right time. If somebody could explain that to me, that'd be wonderful. He must have got a phone call from Adam Pearce. Oh, you're not going to guess. He stooged Gunther out. So he's a snitch. And everyone wants to talk about, oh my gosh, I can't believe Goldberg was out of breath. Who cares? He's almost a 60-year-old man. When we're all 58, we're probably going to be out of all of breath as well, which again was a gibberish sentence. So let's just give him a little bit of leeway. And even if we get to the match and he's totally gassed out, it's not a big issue. It's not a thing. It would be a thing if it was the main event of WrestleMania. It would be a thing if it's something that we built up and you had to spend thousands of dollars on. It's a Saturday night's main event, which is essentially a free pay-per-view, not even really. I think sometimes they treat it more like a TV show than anything else. It's awesome for Goldberg fans. I can tell you I am one. I'm very excited about it. It's awesome for Gunther. It'll be a 5-minute match. It's the third time again that I've said this. It will go chop, 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 spear, spear, maybe a jackhammer, 1-2 kick, chop, 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 drop kick, powerbomb, sleeper. Goldberg passes out, shake of the hands, and we're done. And we'll get the entrance and we'll get the craziness. I'm a weird guy. I want to see what kind of shape Goldberg is in. I always get a pop out of this when, sort of expected big guys come back in a certain shape. And again, he's going to be a lot smaller because he's 58 years old. But I think it's a dream match. I just do. I mean, I wouldn't have put that on my bingo card, Gunther versus Goldberg. Maybe I would have gone, I don't even know with the current crop of people, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But where Gunther is in my wrestling fandom in 2025 and where Goldberg will always be, I can't wait. I think it's the perfect pairing, even if it's an absolute schmoz. As long as nobody gets hurt, which I understand, that's a bigger worry. If you worry about someone getting hurt, I understand that more. But even if it's an absolute disaster, which I don't want it to be, because they're real people with real feelings, and why would you ever wish that on anybody? I just think it's going to be a barrel of laughs. And I think they know that too. And I think Goldberg's not an idiot. I think he knows his limitations. I just like his intensity. And Gunther gets to beat Goldberg, I have that on his resume, and he should walk around for 6 months, at least to the end of 2025, going, oh, by the way, I'm the person that beat Goldberg. Super excited about it. Thought it was good. And that's when I had this epiphany. I was like, man, you're getting all bizarre kind of dream matches. Seth versus Penta, definitely, for me at least. Goldberg versus Gunther, absolutely. Some people will say that Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton Evolution is a dream match, and I would totally get that as well. It's just this amalgamation of different generations doing their thing. And in terms of Seth versus Penta, I suppose it speaks to the fact of the weird, we'll go with the forbidden door term, that we do have now, that people can go anywhere. I'm sure there would have been a time that Penta would have struggled to get into WWE, just the way that Vince McMahon booked things. Whereas now, not only did he come through the door, I would say he's second to Cody Rhodes. Again, I've probably forgotten about someone, so forgive me. But it feels like he's second to only Cody Rhodes in terms of someone that jumped ship and just sort of remained at a certain level and smashed it. Even Phoenix has been a little bit wibbly-jibbly. And the Becky Lynch stuff as well, going back to that. There was just something about these three working together when I was like, it's great. It's fun. Becky Lynch in this character is hilarious. Like the Big E jibe was just so mean and so unnecessary. Everything she said in the ring was true, but she was deliberately obnoxious with it. Bayley's just pissed off now because she lost the IC title because of Lyra. Lyra now has an edge to her, not Adam Copeland. He went to AEW. It was Lyra that laid out everybody and stood there, which means she may not win at Evolution in the three-way. I would still have Lyra win and then do the personal beef feud at SummerSlam between Becky Lynch and Bayley, and then maybe go into a Lyra Valkyria Stephanie Vaquer feud, just because why the hell not? You'll get great matches. I wouldn't necessarily say Lyra is a super babyface. She did screw over Bayley, but I just thought this was great work. And when Lyra went to punch Bayley after Bayley called her a bitch and she accidentally hit Becky Lynch instead, the way Becky Lynch sold it was hilarious, which she did on purpose because she's trying to play an over-the-top character. So it was just fun and it was just entertaining. And once again, you can tell me Becky Lynch is going to retain, Bayley's going to win, Lyra's going to win. I'd accept either or, and usually when you've done that, you've planted the seeds right and you've got the chemistry right, I suppose. They work really well together to the point you could probably extend it to SummerSlam, but I don't think you necessarily need to either. They have been working together for a while, and when you've done the three-way, you should probably separate back off into singles matches. I think Bayley should probably cost Becky Lynch, and then maybe Bayley gets pinned. Then they can both be mad, but then Lyra can kind of flutter away, and she is a bird, so she's going to be able to do that. So, yes, I just thought it was fun. The Evolution build is the only sad thing at the moment, and it's nobody's fault other than WWE creative control, to go back to that term. I mean, all we got between Rhea and Io was a video, and it was a great video reminding you that Rhea Ripley just can't beat Io. We can't put them on the show. Like, you would never do that with anybody else, I don't think, so that was disappointing. Zarya and Sol Ruka are just in the four-way Evolution tag team match. Nobody's explained that, and I double-checked. I have not missed anything. Even Asuka and Kairi Sane, Asuka came out to save Kairi Sane when Judgment Day were beating her up after that match. Even they just went to Adam Pearce and went, can we be in the match? He went, yeah, you can be in the match. Ivy Nile did that too. Ivy Nile was like, can I be in the Evolution Battle Royal? Yeah, you can be in it. That's how fast forward we're doing these things. We're just asking questions of people being put in it. But actually that segment was good too, because that's when Brutus Creed was all like, how can El Grande Americano be in a match? Chad Gable is injured. You got Judas Creed elbowing, you're like, shut up, you moron. Everybody was funny on this show, in a good way, like a subtle way that tied into stories that we were telling. And we did get Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano. I should have said this in ups and downs. Where has Dragon Lee been? He just came back from nowhere. I was surprised El Grande won, but at least he put the metal face thing in his mask and did the headbutt. So Dragon Lee is perfectly protected, especially because he is a dragon. And yes, it's Ludwig Kaiser. I'm not mucking around with this one. It's Ludwig Kaiser. Although Michael Cole was very excited about Dragon Lee unmasking him to see who it really was, even though Michael Cole is convinced it's Ludwig Kaiser. Just don't really... I like it being Ludwig Kaiser. I got to stop saying both his names, because him being back on TV is good. It's a very strange choice, because again, both of these guys we haven't seen on television for a while. Where is this going? Ivy Nile didn't seem very fussed about El Grande Americano. The Creeds did. Ivy just wanted to go to Evolution, so we wait and see. But it was fun. There was a fun element to it, and I think that's what we did in every single match on Raw this week, which sometimes I think we lack. It just felt fun, entertaining, and anything we didn't get, AJ Styles versus Dominic, feels like it's in a good place. I kind of predicted that it would be AJ Styles versus Dominic at Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm going to have to imagine that's not going down now, so my prediction's already out the window, but that's okay. It means we'll prolong the Judgment Day thing, but they were so much fun on this show that I think it's fine. Although, who the flub? Like, even Finn Balor said to JD McDonough, we don't have any challenges because Adam Pearce has got nobody for us. So when the New Day were saying to him, you killed the tag team division, a small part of me was like, you have just a little bit. And of course, random one, no CM Punk on the show. Did he get beaten up last week? I think he did. I can't remember. But that's interesting. I don't think he'd be on SmackDown. I think he's definitely sort of feuding back with Seth Rollins now. So we'll have to wait and see. But yes, good episode of Raw. Saw a few people saying it was average. I can kind of see where you're coming from. Just thought it was well paced. And maybe because the main event was so good, that elevated it. The opening promo did go long, but all WWE opening promos go too long these days, unless you have something really specific to say. And maybe I give it a free pass because it was about letting Braun talk and letting Braun Son talk. So that made sense, right? And they had to do it. Hopefully we can continue to do this as well. Braun Breaker was freaking out a lot during this show too, because Karrion Kross had helped him and Seth Rollins had to calm him down. I would imagine this is the seeds being planted. Braun Breaker doesn't want any help. And obviously Seth Rollins is all about help and all about screwing people over. I do think Seth Rollins will come out of SummerSlam as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So who the hell does Gunther fight there now? It's got to be Punk. Punk, I assume, was off this show because Gunther needs to wrap up the Goldberg stuff, which happens on Saturday. So next week he'll probably come back out and then Seth Rollins cashes in and steals something there. Maybe even does the three-way again, much like he did at WrestleMania 31, which would be nice because it must be around, which is over 10 years, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. We just had WrestleMania 41. So we shall see. It's the same calendar year. So you could probably tell that story. So I liked it. Good times, happy times. Very excited about AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. You make me laugh and I'm totally in. And yes, I'm pumped for Gunther versus Goldberg. People keep messaging me saying, do you think Goldberg is going to win? No, I think that'd be absolutely crazy. Let them have 5 minutes. Let them have fun. Draw a line under it. Big showing of respect for Goldberg at the end. Big pageantry. And we can just say thanks for everything that you did. If you're not a fan, you don't have to do that at all. When I was a kid, he's the reason I started sneakily watching WCW. Because I heard about this Goldberg guy. Well, he sounds amazing. And he's bald. I mean, I wasn't bald then. And it was awesome. And it was great. And there was something exciting about flicking between Nitro and Raw, which is why nobody can do it now. Because we live in a very different television world. Anyway, we'll leave it there. More importantly, what do you think about last night's Raw? You may have thought it sucked. Drop me a comment below. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, click the video on the screen, watch more videos from me. Check out Ups and Downs, please, for my insane review. I think is a fair point you can call it. Notification bell and all that stuff down there. Otherwise, it is growthamind.com/Simon. You can Simon get 10% off bet fitness supplements ever. Watch alongs. Patreon is patreon.com/Simon316. $5 nice and cheap. Simon316 on social media. Simon Miller on something. Cameo for personalized videos, birthdays, etc. Simon J. Miller on TikTok. Pro Wrestling Tees. And what's the other one? Big Cartel. And my new, what's it called? Bald Life t-shirt is up. You know, Word Life, Punk Life. I've now got Bald Life. So if you have no hair, or if you do, and you'd like to support the bald community, you can. Otherwise, have a great Tuesday, my friends. What is wrong with my brain? We have a mad weekend this weekend. If you got to this video, I consider you a hardcore Simon Miller fan. Thank you. What do? YouTube doesn't really like it when you put up multiple videos a day. We'll, of course, cover All In. We'll, of course, cover Evolution. And we'll cover Salat's main event. When should I upload these videos? Maybe I could put one on Patreon for the time being and then maybe upload it on Monday. Please give me some advice. Anything would be massively appreciated. Otherwise, I love you very much. See you soon.